And welcome. This is Chris Reardon welcoming you to today's United Kingdom talk with a rather deep, husky voice for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes, today I am sounding and feeling very, very husky and sexy. Do you like it? Do you like the deep voice? Well, the cold continues. Not getting any worse, but it is now affected my throat, I'm afraid. I don't have a sore throat or anything, but I have got this rather wonderful, deep, husky voice, which makes me sound even butcher and manly than I usually do, ladies. I mean, those of you that just listen to the show can just now imagine a man, a picture of fitness, just sitting here in front of you with bulging muscles and a very, very deep voice. Well, I'm not so sure about the bulging muscles, but, you know, nevertheless, very fit, tattoos on arm, one on my left pec. Oh, yes, ladies, that's what... Or is that what I want sitting next to me? That's the question I ask myself. There's an email address to the show. Please feel free to join in at any time. The email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. As always, this programme is recorded a week in advance, so it does take a little while for your email to come up. Now, if you want instant gratification, okay, instant satisfaction, instant gratification, and indeed instant communication with this show, then why not join us for our live United Kingdom show, which is every Monday now at 6 p.m. UK time. All right, once again, our live show, 6 p.m. every Monday, UK time, 6 p.m. Mondays, 6 p.m. UK time. And to listen to that or watch that, simply go to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, which is the main website for the show, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Top left-hand corner, you'll see a little picture of me in a grey T-shirt, and it says, Listen Live. And it says Mondays, 6 o'clock UK time. Just click on there and it will take you to the area where you can listen to the show live and indeed join in either by Skype, if you've got Skype. You can join in by MSN, you can join in by email, or even telephone. Yes, I have the equipment here. We can chat away by telephone. Now, I don't have a number to give out to you, but the idea is you email in with your phone number and I ring you back, saving you the money. And once again, adding another expense to my ever extravagant lifestyle, if I can afford another one, dear. I mean, I can't even afford cough medicine for my poor throat. Please send Red Cross parcels immediately. Well, Christmas is almost upon us, isn't it? Just a few days' time now, boys and girls. And one of my friends, who I've actually never met in person, one of my friends on the internet, has possibly got the best ever present someone could want for Christmas. No, it's not a date with me. I know what you were thinking then. Don't tell me that Chris is actually going to take some young man out for a date as a Christmas present. Good God, no. I mean, that would cost far too much. No, it's even better than that. If there could be anything better than that. My dear friend, Ross Delt, who also does a podcast, rosspatdelt.co.uk, has had the news that he is going to be a daddy. Oh, daddy. Oh, congratulations to Ross and his lovely girlfriend Donna, another person who I've never met, dear. You know, these are all virtual people. You know, those people that you chat to on the internet? Sometimes, perhaps by MSN, people that you've never met. Have you ever thought this to yourself, right? Do they actually exist? Now, Ross and I do talk on the phone quite often. And he gave me the news just before he told everyone on his radio show. I was privileged to know. So congratulations to Ross. And soon there will be another little Ross Delt in... When will that be then? December, Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Next September, I think it will be. There will be another little Ross Delt in the world. God help us. I have suggested, of course, that Rossi names his child, if it's a boy, or indeed a girl, after me, Chris. Because you can have Christopher or Christine, can't you? Which one am I? Oh, how rude you are sometimes to me. You really are. Here I am trying to do a show. You do nothing but take the mick out of me, don't you? Eh? Yes, Chris or Christine. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to take me up on my offer of offering my name. Sorry, do you know, I always forget something when I come in this blooming studio. I'd be better off, I tell you, in the Mirable studio, just going audio again, I think. There we are. On the video screen behind me is the long version of the little Christmas film that you now see at the end of the show, those of you watching it on YouTube. The full version is behind me there, okay? Yes, I think it'd be quite nice. I mean, I don't know if he's going to carry on his podcast or not. He may get too busy, you know, being daddy and all that business. Plus, of course, there are those of you that have had children or have got children and will have gone through those months of crying and changing nappies and all that. But you know what? I think he's going to love it. He is going to love being a dad because he's wanted to. He's only young. What is Ross? 26, 27, something like that. And he's wanted to be a dad for a while now. I know that. So congratulations to Ross and his girlfriend Donna. I hope it all goes fantastically well. I'm jealous. I am jealous. So it'd be quite nice to have another little Chris Reardon in this room with me now, doing the show with me. Yeah. I mean, I would quite like that. So I'm jealous, Ross. I'm jealous. It's one of those things, you know. My sister, because I'm kind of on my own and, you know, I've got more money to spend on bits and pieces and things. And indeed, I do actually spend a lot of money on this show, believe it or not, with trees and Christmas trees now and whatever. And my sister says, oh, you've got this, you've got that. But my sister had 3 children. And believe me, if you've got children, you're far richer, far richer than anyone who's got a bit of money. And that is the absolute truth of it. If you've got any letters of congratulations of Ross and you'd like me to Ross and his girlfriend, you'd like me to read them out if you've listened to the show, then feel free to send them in on the usual email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Any advice you could give now to the expecting couple? Send it through, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Another bit of good news this week. Gwen, regular correspondent, not too regular, but we talk about Gwen quite a lot. Gwen is the older lady who comes to karaoke nights that I do in London. And recently, a few months ago, she was diagnosed with cancer. She's doing quite well, actually. And last Monday, she turned up unannounced at Belushis in Hammersmith. That was Monday, where I do the karaoke. Belushis Hammersmith Monday every night, every Monday from 9 p.m. And she just turned up. And she came with her daughter Gillian, and they sat on a table there, and I was just setting up, I didn't notice. Just setting up, and all of a sudden I heard a voice, Chris! And I turned around, and there was Gwen just sitting there with her daughter. Wonderful. And she came up and sung a couple of songs. Pretty boy Steve, who's a regular in the Hammersmith Belushis, he was there as well, and went over and spoke to her. And Gwen sung 2 songs, one of which was Fix You by Coldplay, which had a few of us in tears. I'm telling you that now. What a brave, wonderful woman she is, Gwen. And at some point we'll get her on the phone again. I may even try and go around and visit her with the camera and the sound recording equipment. But I have a feeling now that'll probably be after my holiday to Australia, which isn't too far away now, is it? I'm going in early January, 14th of January. I've got a few different people coming around the house and looking after that while I'm away, which is marvellous. I'm kind of tempted to have the living room decorated and the kitchen while I'm away, or cleaned. I'm going to have a word with my friend Ronnie about that, because he can do all these things. I'm a bit useless at cleaning, although the cleaning is continuing, boys and girls. I'm continuing to do cleaning, and indeed, yesterday, even though I wasn't feeling well, I thought I must continue my efforts to clean this house from top to bottom. I didn't do much yesterday. I only cleaned 2 cupboard doors. That's all I did. But I emptied one of the cupboards with unwanted gadgets. Now, I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you have a cupboard in the kitchen or a drawer. You've probably got a drawer. I bet you've got a drawer of many things, haven't you? One of those drawers, and you open it, and you have trouble opening it because something gets stuck between the drawer and the top of the drawer. Am I right? You know I'm right. And in my drawer downstairs, I have an axe. An axe. God knows why I've got an axe in this house. Because I've never used the blooming thing. What do you use an axe for? It's only a little one. I mean, it would smash a window if I ever want to go burglary or anything like that. It would smash a window. There's an axe in the drawer. There's a hammer. Those are the two things where sometimes if I've got too much in the drawer, the handle sticks up and then you can't open the damn thing. And then you've got your hand under the drawer, haven't you? And you're trying to move this handle to the side and it isn't happening, is it? Eh? Anyway, so I've got a hammer, I've got an axe in there, various pens, needles, I've got threads in there, batteries, oh, God knows what else, screwdrivers, there's a pair of wire cutters, and all sorts of things in this drawer. So that's that drawer. No, that's not the one I emptied, although I must work on that one as well. There is a cupboard just underneath the sink to the right. Now, the cupboard underneath the sink is the one that contains all the cleaning bottles. God almighty, how many cleaning bottles have I got in there? There seems to be one that does everything. One that does all different... Sorry, several that do all different things. There's one cleaning bottle, right, that cleans the stain... Actually, to be honest, that cleaning cupboard recently got filled when I started going on this cleaning binge around the house. I realised that the one bottle of cleaning stuff I had didn't really do much, okay? So I went out to Sainsbury's and I bought various other things. And in this cleaning cupboard, underneath the sink, there's one for the stainless steel, you know, there's one for the wooden floor tiles, there's a bottle of Flash to clean the slate tiles, there's a bottle of spray polish, there's toilet cleaning thing that you squeeze around the sides, there's toilet blocks, there's sponges with the little plastic bit to clean the to clean pans and things like that, there's wire wool to clean pans that have got stuff that has burnt on. And am I ringing any bells with you here, girls and boys? I am, aren't I? You've got one of these cupboards, haven't you? And it is full, and there's Jif foam, and there's oh, what's that other stuff now? Sillet Bang, there's a bottle of that in it. There's everything in this bloody cupboard. And it just goes on and on. It's full of things. Why do we need so many cleaning materials? I mean, you often go into Sainsbury's or whatever supermarket you're going, and you see these bottles of things that claim to do everything. You don't need anything else, just this one bottle. And you kind of pick up one of these, oh, well, that'll do. But then, as you walk down the aisle, you see another thing for stainless steel. This is the one for stainless steel. And you think, oh, well, this one says it does it all, but this one's for stainless steel, so probably this one will be better for that. And then you go and buy that as well. And a little bit further down the aisle, oh, it's a toilet one. I know this one says it cleans everything, but this is specifically for toilets. And you pick up that. And you pick up a bottle of bleach. I mean, this cupboard is full of stuff, dear. Cloths, everything. Spare bits for the Hoover. What do we do with all this stuff? Anyway, that's not the cupboard I cleaned out, but I need to do that one. The other cupboard, next to it, on the right, contained unwanted gadgets. So yesterday, I pulled out 4 items. There was one food processor thing, which I've got to admit was a bit dirty, okay? I mean, I haven't kept that clean. It has sat in that cupboard for God knows how many, I would say 10 years. 10 years, and it's got a bit of dried egg on it and that sort of thing. There was another similar machine, plug-in machine, which was a chopper, okay? So you put your item in there, well, it could be a carrot or a bit of apple or something like that, and you push it down with this plastic thing, and chop, 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 and you get chopped up bits in there, onions, whatever. Never use it. And there was a, what is that thing? Lean Green, what's his name? Lean Green grilling machine. I can't remember the name of the bloke who makes them, or the make of it. George, oh, not George Hamilton. Is it George Foreman? Could be George Foreman, lean green cooking machine, right? Once again, I used it a few times. Bloomin' murder to clean. Absolute murder to keep this thing clean. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if once you've cooked your food on it, you could just put it under a tap. Give it a quick scrub and let it soak. But you can't, of course, with these things because they're all electric. And the other thing I chucked out was a toasted sandwich maker. Why? Because, again, another nightmare item to clean. They really are a nightmare to clean, these things, dear. You can't put them in the dishwasher. You have to manually scrub, and then you scrub the black stuff. Oh, I can't stand it. So I thought, no, these are all going because they're too much hassle. And I got my bike out of the shed, put them all on the in my 2 bags. I have panniers on my bike. Oh, yes, dear, yes. We don't bring the car out unnecessarily. We can't afford to keep putting diesel in, dear. It's all money, 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 isn't it? So I got my bike out and I thought I'll take these down the electrical dump area in Bracknell Forest Council. They have a special area for electrical goods. Oh, I'm very good like that, yes. Yeah, I don't just chuck it out with the normal household waste. No, dear. Recycle. That's what we must do. Chucked it in the back of the bags, just about got everything in, to be honest, and off I went into town with my little woolly hat on because it was a bit of a nippy day. I wouldn't say it was cold, it was nippy. Got my hat and my woolen hat on, got to the dump, Bracknell Forest dump, which is in Longshot Lane. It's not too far, it's about 20 minutes on a bicycle, I suppose. And they've just redone this dump, and it's much more, how would you say, recycling friendly now. 2 blokes standing right at the beginning there. I said, oh, where do I walk in, mate? He said, well, you can't walk in here, mate, you can only drive in. I said, oh, I've got some items in the back of the bag. Oh, he says, you're on the bike, that's probably all right, just cycle round, okay. I think these blokes just stand there at the barrier all day long, 2 of them. I mean, how much are they getting for that? I could do that. They're just standing there pointing people in the right direction, which actually is quite useful, I suppose. Because sometimes you wander around these places, you don't know what you're doing, do you? So I cycled round, and sure enough, there was a big red skip that is for all the electrical appliances. And I got over to it. My God, this thing was full of stuff. Televisions, you know, tubes, those light fluorescent tubes, cookers, small cookers, not big cookers, small cookers, all sorts of things, hair dryers, it was all in there. And as I got to it, there's another bloke there who's, now and again, he pulled an item out of there, cut the electrical cable off and then chucked that back in. And I got talking to him. You know what I'm like? I do like a chat with someone, dear. I got talking to him. And I said, what actually happens with all this stuff? He says, well, they take off the bits they want because there's bits of metal and, you know, electrical cables. They cut all that off. That's all recycled. And the rest of it is ground down. So, I mean, ground down into, I don't know, powder, I suppose. But I wonder what they do with the powder. Does it go off to making other things or anything like that? Anyone know what happens, what actually happens? I mean, I'd like to know. Let's take, for example, my sandwich toaster. What happens to that? Does it go somewhere with a load of other gear and a bloke or a woman, whatever, then takes the thing apart, unscrews all the little screws and takes it apart and perhaps puts the screws in somewhere else and they get used for something else. And you know that, like the plates that you have in a sandwich toaster that you put the bread in, do they get taken off and used again, something like that? I think it's fascinating to know what they do with all this stuff. It really is. I chatted away to him for ages. And we got into the subject of the climate change and all this business. You know what? I'm not convinced that climate change has been caused by humans. And I'll tell you why. Because we've had ice ages. In the past, we've had ice ages and we've had periods where the world's got warmer. So is this not just another one of those periods? Right? And we've heard this all over the news time and time again. Our governments around the world, using green taxes just to get money in for whatever they want. But there's one thing about all the recycling that I do agree with. The fact is, one day we will run out of coal and oil. And another thing is, we can't just keep burying rubbish, especially stuff like, I mean, it's not so bad with unwanted food, which I hate people chucking food away. That really annoys me, right? But even so, chucking a bit of food on the grass outside isn't too much of a problem. A little animal will come along and eat it, or it'll just disintegrate into the ground. But when it comes to things like plastic, indeed, while I'm sitting here in this studio, what happens to all this stuff? Now, let me describe to you. On both sides of me are 2 artificial Christmas trees with little lights twinkling away. They're stood on plastic bottoms. Now, when one of these trees eventually gets chucked away, and the one on the left-hand side, it's got what do you call them? Glass fibres that are kind of glowing, right? When I eventually chuck that tree away, what will happen to it in the ground? It won't disintegrate, will it? Not for hundreds and hundreds of years. And next to the small tree is an even larger tree, exactly the same. It's made of some sort of plastic. It's got little LEDs on it, which are all illuminated. It has little mirror balls, which are made of plastic again. In front of me, on the wall, are some very large, long daylight fluorescent tubes in plastic holders. Right? Great big long plastic holder, 6 foot long. There's a plastic clock. There's a computer monitor. There's a keyboard. I'm sitting on a settee made of some sort of material. But all this stuff in the studio, and indeed the rest of the house, what will happen to it when it's dumped? It will just sit there for years and years and years. Like most household rubbish that we have now. The plastic bottles. What if they're dumped? People are... Do you know what? I walk around my house now and again. It's nothing special, my house. I know we have a bit of a laugh and I tell you it's a mansion with 30 or 40 bedrooms or something like that, but it's not. It's just an ordinary house. And I walk around now and again and I pick up bits of rubbish that people have carelessly discarded. I don't know why people do that. It seems to be getting worse. But there you go. I do that maybe once a week. And sometimes I go into the scrub and the undergrowth, and you find a plastic bottle that's kind of half buried, which has been there for years. I know it's been there for years because the branding on it is different to what the branding is on the particular product now. It has sat there for years and it hasn't disintegrated at all. All this stuff, we can't just keep burying this stuff. Can we? And when scientists and politicians are talking about recycling stuff, I do wholeheartedly agree with all that. We must turn things back into new things that we can use again and stop poisoning the earth. But the whole greenhouse gas thing, well, regular listeners to the show will know that I've had solar panels put up on the roof. All my lighting, not to make this show, the studio lighting I use, that's all plugged into the mains because we need more light. But all the lighting, the general lighting in the house, is all something that I installed personally with one solar panel on a tree and a big storage battery, a car battery. Those of you that are technically minded, I have a 120 amp hour caravan battery. that is charged by this solar panel, and that works the internal lights in the house. So I don't actually pay for any internal lighting here in my home. And the main solar panels are on the roof, and they provide me with a lot of electricity. Did I do that to save carbon? No. No, I did it to save money over a long period of time. Because I don't believe that actually we are all responsible for the warming of the earth. I don't believe that anymore. I don't think it helps to have cars chucking out pollution 24 hours a day. It can't be any good for our breathing. And I think a lot of it's to do with the cancers that are around, that sort of thing, you know. But when it comes to energy and that sort of thing, I think all houses should have solar panels and wind turbines where appropriate. I mean, it's not appropriate for everyone to have a solar panel, especially if you're not surrounded by tall buildings. Complete waste of time. And again, the wind turbines can only go on certain houses. But those that can have them, I think, should be provided with them, or should be given some sort of incentive to have them. Because the more solar panels and the more wind we generate, the less fossil fuels we use, thus making it last longer. Your comments on that, please. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Talking of cancers and that sort of thing, I was listening to, of course, Gwen's had the cancer, and as I say, she is doing all right. She hasn't got the all clear yet. She's not out in the woods, but she's doing all right. But I was listening to this medical podcast the other day. I can't remember what it was called now. Medical podcast of some sort. And this bloke was saying, just sit down for a moment, and you may want to do the same here. Sit down for a moment and think of all the medical things that we have achieved in the last 10 years. We've done some wonderful things. A lot of cancers now can be treated. I know a lot of people with HIV. People with HIV, as long as they stick to their tablets, don't die anymore. Or at least not many of them. Not in comparison to the terrible things that were going on in the 80s, where they didn't have a clue what was happening. Many, many other things that we have achieved medically in 10 years. And now, thinking of that, just think of the wonderful medical advances that scientists are going to make in the next 10 years. If we've leapt so far in the last 10, just think how quickly we can leap in the next 10. Perhaps cures for the two things that I just mentioned. Maybe there will be a way of operating on people without actually cutting them open. We've already got the keyhole surgery, haven't we? What would you like to see happen in the next 10 years, eh? Whether it be medical or science or anything like that, or gadget-wise. What do you want to happen in the next 10 years? That's a good subject for some of our New Year's shows, isn't it? Do let us know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Just time for a couple of emails before we go today. First of all, Patrick Lilly, who is a renowned promoter on the music scene in London, mentions about the video clip of the Mayor that we done a while ago. Nice video clip, boys. Well done. And hi to Naz, who says, just watching the show. First one in a while, I have to admit. Life's been busy. He's because of his high-flying career. Dear me. Do try and keep up with the shows, Naz. You pop in and out, dear. You're not a regular, are you? You've got to remain regular, otherwise you get ill. It's as simple as that. Time for me to go, boys and girls. Once again, that email address, chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Don't forget the live show every Monday at 6 p.m. UK time. Go to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Click on Listen Live in the top left-hand corner. Time for me to go. See you on the next show. For myself, Chris Reardon. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye.